Smart 24, driving business.
Madina, your world. These are the gas cylinders I deal in. This is an outlet. We go take them to the factory refill and bring back. So these ones we started because we wanted to bridge the gap. Previously, the companies will close at 5 o'clock. So when they close at 5, between 5 and tomorrow morning at 8, there is no gas. So we decided to open this business so that we can bridge that gap. So when I realized this, I decided to open the store, which is now here. So the gases I have is acetylene. This one I'm holding, and this is oxygen, industrial. So these gases, when you are using them, you will open the spindles. After opening the spindles, these are spindles. This is spindle key. So after opening them, next you regulate. After regulating, you have got the gas, desired gas you need to be used. Then you start with acetylene. You open the gas. When you have opened it, but before you make sure the spark light is ready, or whatever matchbox is ready. Then you start the flame and then adjust. Also introduce oxygen. Because this one has the fire, source of fuel. Then this one supports the oxygen, the combustion. So when you have started, then it is ready for use. One, you can use it for brazing. Brazing is where, like you want to join copper or different metals, like copper to steel, not aluminium this time. It's basically copper to steel or steel to steel. But before you join it, you must clean the surfaces. So when you clean the surfaces, then you introduce your flame. But before that, you need the powder. Powder, which is a copper. Times is copper sulfate. You are cleaning the surfaces so that they can bond together. When you don't clean it, when you don't introduce the copper sulfate, you will not clean the surfaces. It will not bond because it will be dirty. Brazing does not need any dirty surfaces, so we must clean the surfaces together so they can bond together. That's gas brazing. Now for gas welding, like light sheets, where the welding cannot do it, like 1 millimeter. In some cases, even where, like you see, these bodies of vehicles are very light, so you need gas welding. You need gas welding, not arc welding. The one for electricity is called arc. No, otherwise it's got gas welding. So especially where there's exhaust of vehicle exhaust pipes, motorcycle, these ones here, any light sheet which you need to bond together, you'll need the arc welding, no gas welding. So the gas welding, basically you don't need to clean. There's no problem because when will you clean the exhaust of the vehicle? The exhaust pipe connection. So what basically you need is to just warm that area where you want to fill the gap. After warming, when it's red hot to about more than 1,000 degrees centigrade, then you can introduce your rod, MS rod. When you introduce it, it will melt and then fill that gap. That's called gas welding. Yes. So besides also these two, I also trade in medical oxygen. So medical oxygen, it supports life. So we do deliver clinics and hospitals. Yeah, quite a number of them. So these ones we also trade. I don't just weld here. These are samples. Because if I'm to weld here, my clients will not work. So mine is to bring them and give to the clients, those who are going to use them. That's why I don't have these things for vehicle maintenance here. So mine is just bring them and distribute. So I do supply a variety of clinics and hospitals around. Yeah. So besides this also, I have like medical air, as I told you. So you support babies, those who were born prematurely, like 7 months, 8.5. Those ones usually come when they are weak and they are not able to have this air in the atmosphere. So we need the mixture because, this air in the atmosphere is always a mixture. nitrogen, oxygen, and rare gases. That's why we need them for baby. Now, baby, you have to put the medical air because it's like you are putting them in the atmosphere. But they must be in the incubator. That is in towns. But in the villages, they don't have these gases, so that's the advantage of staying in city. You have the gases to support the premature. Introduce the incubator, then feed in there, connect to power where there's temperature, and then you need the gas to introduce inside there. In some cases, if you don't have money, you can put oxygen alone. But that one is better, medical air, because it will have both oxygen and what? Nitrogen. But the oxygen has to be low quantity, like you need like 20%, and then 80% nitrogen. Because basically the child will be inhaling what? The oxygen, and the nitrogen just remains there. Basically, we're just selling the gas. If need arises like during COVID, then you can sell the cans. And with business, when you sell, it's like you are selling your tools, no? When you are selling, you must be careful selling it. Because you can outsell like during COVID. People wanted to buy us during COVID. They are bringing all sorts of money. We said no. We keep increasing to scare them away. That's what you did, to keep business. Because if you are sold that time, maybe I would have closed by now. Because buying is not easy. But selling is very fast. You can sell it. So business part of it, I do refilling, and refilling by here, I think it can reach at 20,000. Then I give it out depending on which customer. The prices are not different, they're not constant. Depending on also how we were bargained. I can give another one at 30,000, another one at 35. Then others also put at 40. The prices are different. Depends on also most of them. I was here now, most customers don't come here. No. Because you just need to call us and then we deliver. Because we don't want to inconvenience anybody. If people are to come here, this place will be filled. So we just arranged, you call them, you call me. I put on the border depending on the number. The vehicle is there if there are many. Then you put on the motorcycle, 1, 2, depending on the order. You supply. So the customer will charge the transport. Like if the gas is a particular customer is taking at 45, it means the 10 is for transport. My balance is 35. If it's there somewhere, someone is taking at 40, it means 10 is transport, my balance is what? 30. Price is not uniform. Yeah, we keep charging on also on consumption. There are those who take a long time. Those are the ones who charge more money. You have to pay 40. Because you're not coming again tomorrow. The support is small. So that one will charge you more money. Because you're not coming tomorrow. One person can even, a gas can take with somebody 6 months. Yes, that one we have to charge you 40. But those who are using like we're taking the hospital, just charge 40,000. And the transport is mine. So now I don't care because they're taking money in bulk. You charge them lower price. So the more cylinders you take, the less you pay. That's basically what our trading here is. Now I always tell my boys here, we are like people who are dealing in coffin. You see? While we are crying for no clients, then people are not falling sick. COVID without a lot of business. These cylinders were not inside here. We're just placing them out. We go refill, come, they're ready. Ambulances and all vehicles from hospitals were waiting. Even all that, we could not enter inside. Cylinders just remain outside. You bring, offload, finish selling, and the vehicle goes back. That was COVID time. Since then, it has changed. So even a day, you may not sell 2 cylinders. Like from morning up to now, nothing. We're seated. We have to have lunch. We have to have transport. You also need pay on the workers, no? I have 3 workers only. I have to pay them. So that is the challenge we have now. The sales are down. Basically, people are not falling sick. That's what I can say. So when they are sick, we always say, why is such clinic not taking? Because we are looking for what? The market. People are not coming. So when they don't come, it means they are not sick. Yeah. So usually, that's the challenge we are getting now after COVID. Sales are low. But COVID, the store was empty. Just cylinders were outside. Bring, come and go. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Madira.
Well, he does mention of the gas business, but if I'm to break down for you some of the prices when it comes to the oxygen gas cylinders in Uganda, roughly a 50 kilogram cylinder may range between 450,000 Ugandan shillings to 480,000. Does depend on where you're buying it from, but mainly within Kampala, you'll find it's ranging within that same amount. For the oxygen gas cylinders are being used preferably in laboratories as well as hospitals. And then if you look at the full oxygen gas cylinder, that is with a capacity of 1,500 liters, may go to close to 900,000 to 1.1 million Ugandan shillings in most parts of Kampala. Then also from the other narrative, you get to realize that the other oxygen cylinders, 5 liters, may go to 350,000 Ugandan shillings. That is within Kampala, 350 to 450. Then the oxygen cylinder with ready gas, with a weight of 50 kilograms, will be definitely ranging for 450,000 to 500,000 Ugandan shillings, like we did start off with breaking down for you some of these particular prices for some of these gas cylinders or oxygen gas cylinders. And of course, you can still get one which is close to 650. Like I said, it does depend on where you're buying the oxygen gas cylinders. Now, like the gentleman in the app that was apparently I highlighted, that is Mr. Madia Yowali, who deals in gas cylinders, especially the oxygen-based gas cylinders, saying that, well, currently there is less business if he is to compare to the same traffic he was experiencing during the 2 years of COVID-19, during the 2 years of the lockdowns. That is where you can easily see that there was a lot of traffic for people who wanted to get this gas cylinder. So he cannot quickly say that this year has been a favorable one for him. But of course, he has been getting some customers. But then when you look at some of the prices and the fact that these oxygen gas cylinders mainly have clients who are hospitals, but of course, I've also mentioned the fact that there are laboratories, science laboratories, who still need these oxygen gas cylinders. Then there are also universities or other tertiary institutions that do have courses related to sciences. Those are also other of the institutions that use this gas cylinder. So the range of these gas cylinders does depend on quite a matter of factors, just like the same way you can see the gas cookers that you're definitely getting, the gas cylinders, the ordinary gas cylinders used for cooking at home. So if you're to look at that, it is a business like no other. For example, currently LPG gas is one of selling of LPG gas has become one of the most predominant business within the East African Community region. When you look at the different fuel stations, they apparently sell most of these gas cylinders. So that is one of the businesses that is picking up within East Africa. And that brings us to the end of our first update this morning. I'm Joram Ssonko. Let's switch our eyes to the press review this morning. We have the New Vision and the Daily Monitor. Now, the New Vision, with the headline, government is set to audit private schools' funds as institutions are set to submit audited books every term that passes by. So this particular one is to see that the government audits how private schools are getting money. How are they utilizing the money? Are they overcharging parents? Is it true that every other academic term, schools in the private sector continue to increase on school fees? Which other attached funds do they ask for from the parents? Is it worth it? This is the kind of auditing that the government is going to be working on and carrying out come 2023 when the academic year kickstarts off in late January. Now, also, President Museveni has met with farmers and leaders. This was in Chiruhura district, where he apparently went in Kazo and Chiruhura districts on Wednesday, where he apparently went and met with farmers and leaders and encouraged them. We did have this particular report apparently in our news recap this morning as well. Then also, as we can look at the other situation, the Asian family, when you look at some of the Asian series here in the New Vision regarding the families that were actually banned from being in Uganda, who were deported back by Idi Amin Dada in 1972 when he was president of the country. Now, there is a family that is exploring places that it left behind, businesses especially, to see how they can recover them. Now, also government is set to phase out fuel-powered borders. What does the government have in transition? Because the transition from fuel to electric bikes is estimated to cost the country over 200 billion Ugandan shillings. This is according to what the Daily Monitor has highlighted. And statistics prove that it is estimated that by KCCA, borders account for over 40% of public transport, and as the mainly used public means of transport in Kampala, with about 40,000 motorcycles operating within the city. So that is according to KCCA. And government is set to audit school finances. That is where you definitely have to see. There is also a move to cap fees, which is shaking school owners, because the government wants to at least put a fees cap, at least a minimum amount of money where schools are not supposed to exceed, to make it favorable for people to maintain cheaper and affordable education. It may not be cheaper, but affordable. Then government earmarks 6.4 trillion for wealth creation. This is another report here with the Daily Monitor, and you'll rather with the New Vision here in the press review this morning, as the Ministry of Land has set up a land evictions committee to support the elderly, also with the New Vision. Now, lastly, with the press review, we take a look at what the Daily Monitor has in regards to business. As you can definitely see, President Museveni says that we won't follow Parliament's decision on coffee deal. This is according to what President Museveni has highlighted as depicted in the Daily Monitor this morning. Then there is also another report regarding how government is planning to revive the economy come 2023. Huge expectations from the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, with the government in it to make sure that this is worked upon. Then there's another case regarding a humanitarian cause, how Ugandan maids are sold to wealthy Saudis on the black market. So there's the average price for a maid on Haraj, the Saudi Arabia's largest online marketplace, is 15 million Ugandan shillings. You can imagine how our brothers and sisters are being sold off to the Saudi Arabian wealthy people at 15 million Ugandan shillings. Then something regarding hair loss. Specialists warn on creams and poor nutrition. This is one of the reasons why people are losing wealth. Then is a special report regarding the ongoing death along the Kampala Masaka Highway and other highways within Uganda, amongst the accidents that have been trending all over this particular festive season and the aftermath of it. Then President Museveni's issue on how they're not going to follow MPs, a detailed report on why they will not be following MPs' advice on the coffee deal, what President Museveni has to say as well. So you will definitely get yourself more of that particular one as we head to more of what the Daily Monitor has. Here is another report regarding vandalism of Arua city litter bins has raised concern in Arua. Why is that so? Who is raising the concern? Daily Monitor has more of those details. And then also local leaders are decrying of low funding to the road sector. Every other district is crying foul to the government and the Uganda National Roads Authority in regards to the fact that the roads are in poor state and there is less funding or delay of funds reaching these particular destinations to work on the same issue. Now, also, lastly, from the Daily Monitor, will revive Uganda Telecom survive competition? This is also another report that you can definitely experience. Now, besides that same situation, we are going to cross over to the traffic updates to see what is happening in there, to see how the vehicle movement is so far. If you are watching right now, which route is more preferably good for you to at least utilize? You can definitely get that and more from this particular morning traffic update. Well, as you can see, it's a Friday, and pretty much a situation when you get to realize that at this current time, most of the routes that are leading to Kampala, especially those around the Kampala suburbs, it is the taxis that are hitting the road more often than the other private vehicles. And this can easily be seen in most of these particular areas as well. Now, not only that, if you're to as well follow up on the other situations, it goes back to the fact that most people are actually returning to town. And now those who are actually heading to town are actually picking up. The numbers of people who are heading to town are picking up slowly and slowly. This is not a kind of situation that you will definitely be more. This is the kind of information that you would wish to understand, especially as we're heading into the new year. Tomorrow will be New Year's Eve, so you can ideally know which route is better for you to use as you're coming into town. It would be better for you to choose a better route as you're heading to town. So as you can definitely see, the image is coming to you this particular morning, and you get to the traffic outlets. You can definitely try to cop up and see which route is better for you as you're moving into town. As the traffic outlet is definitely here every morning to guide you through as we are coming up. And this particular one is coming in from the Chibuye roundabout, as you can see from this particular angle here on Smb Business. So you can seek for which route to use. The route that is actually heading to Makindye clearly shows you that it's not that busy, very less traffic. It's only the borders that are actually flooding the road from that route from Makindye, the Makindye division. It's only the route that has vehicles coming in from Entebbe Road that is always busy, by the way. That particular route has always been so busy because it has vehicles coming in from Entebbe Road, Ndeje, those who are coming in from, ideally it's the Entebbe Road clearly, Zana, Kajansi, Seguku, stretching all the way to Entebbe, Subi, and all those areas. It is one that is very, very busy. As you can see, most of the vehicles coming in from there. So if you're coming in from that road, you clearly have to be early this morning because as you can see, most of the people in there have already hit the road in time. And for those who are actually heading to the ends of Rubaga, it's a free lane for now. You can still choose which route to use at this time. You can still choose which route not to use at this particular moment in time. Well, business is still catching up in most parts of Kampala. And the mere fact that we are in the aftermath of Christmas, as we are heading to the eve of the New Year, Saturday, tomorrow, as you will definitely experience that lots of people are getting back to town, most of them because of the 31st New Year festivities that include nationwide prayers, include concerts of ushering people into a new year. So these are some of the things that people need to as well have to be more comfortable about when it comes to how ready and how prepared they are when it comes to business and how to set themselves quite apart from the other angles. So the Masaka route is as free as you can definitely see. For example, those vehicles that are actually moving in. But for the vehicles coming in from Entebbe Road heading to Kampala, their lane does look so busy for now. It does indeed look busy. So if you're yet to kickstart off your journey from home, please do, as the route may look so empty, especially for those leaving town, but those who are heading into town are slowly picking up. So you can definitely choose for yourself which route you would desire to use. Are you going to use the Endeavour route if you're coming in from Kajansi, or you will definitely stay on track with this particular one of Chibuye? Well, that is it for the traffic updates this morning. When we do return after the break, I do have the Karibu East Africa. Those are updates coming in from the East African Community region, and then also updates coming in from the international scene in regards to business. You will definitely be getting more of those updates here this particular morning. Good morning.
Smart 24, driving business.